Hey there, thank you so much for taking the time to fill out that survey. It really helps me to design my courses and continue making awesome programs that help you guys. So I appreciate you taking the time for that. As promised, I wanted to make a very special video exclusively for people that took the time to fill out the survey. So today's video is on half-halts and specifically how I use half-halts when I'm riding Harvey. I actually just did a clinic last weekend with Juan Batuta. He's a very renowned clinician and Olympian, and he kept yelling at me over and over again, half-halt, half-halt, half-halt. So half-halts are something that you're never done learning, and as you evolve as a rider, as your horse trains up the levels, your half-halt becomes even more refined and even more important. So in this video, I'm going to do a voiceover and kind of talk you through what he was trying to get me to do. But the premise of the half-halts he was trying to teach me to do, which is something I've never really thought of, is kind of this idea that through your wrist, with these little half-halts, that you can create energy and activity in your horse. So with Harvey, for example, he's always a little bit like tight in his neck and in his shoulders. I can't really get enough lift. So when I can get like a little bit of a rhythmic half-halt, 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 both in the trot for creating the lift and the passage, and also in my pirouettes, that it really helps him to get his withers up, and that it actually helps to get more activity and more energy through the body. So that's one thing that's really important about half-halts, is that they're about gathering energy and creating energy. It's not about taking the energy away from your horse. It's about gathering it up so that you can do something useful for it. And I'm going to also show you, there's one point where I was doing a canter pirouette around him on Natasha, and he actually grabbed a hold of my hands and was helping me with that wrist motion. So it's kind of like the same motion for the scrambled eggs, but it's in the right rhythm of the gait. So it's on the upbeat of the canter, or for the trot, it's every time a front foot is coming up. So I'm going to talk you through this little video on half-halts. I really hope it helps you. Thanks again for taking the time to fill out the survey.
Continue, and then right leg, left leg. A little more from your wrist, from your wrist, from your wrist. Open passage, again, there. And now passage from there again. Keep the withers active. Yes, turn to the left, you're good. Release and half-halts, and then follow him. Up and follow him. Good. Open passage. Open passage, not always collected passage, a little more forward, a little more space. Yeah. Okay. You manage the timing. You're good. Yeah. Forward. He's too much claustrophobic, the passage. You're good.
So that's a little bit of Juan talking to me, but basically we're working with Harvey on getting a little bit more lift in the passage, and he's really wanting me to use my wrists to help get more elevation through his shoulders and through his withers. So basically with both reins, every time that a front leg comes up, it would be like half-halt, 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 half-halt. And also coordinating that with my legs. So either both legs or a little bit alternative legs, left and right. And it's pretty cool. Like you can see there, he's actually reaching up and holding my hands and kind of showing me the timing and the motion that he wants me to have through my wrist in order to get those half-halts coming through. So, again, the half-halt is a coordination between your leg, your seat, and your hand. But definitely with Harvey, one of the trickiest things is the connection and the neck. He's always been a horse that's like really tight in the neck, and he blocks himself in the neck. And so if I can figure out how to do these half-halts better, where I keep his neck a little bit looser and am actually able to create some activity from my half-halts and create a little more lift in the trot from my half-halts, that's going to help a lot. So that's something I've never really thought about before in the half-halts, is actually being able to create activity and create energy through the withers and through the shoulders by how I use my wrists. So it's an interesting thing that I definitely need to add to my program and keep working on developing Harvey's Passage a bit more. And of course you can see I'm making corrections from my leg to get the energy coming up, and then trying to create those half halts so that instead of him just running off of his hind leg, that he's staying a little more under behind. And here I do a little bit of a medium trot, and it's always good, in between working on your half halts, that you ride a forward gait, because you never want your horse to start getting stuck in the collection or feeling too confined. And here with Natasha, we're working on the same thing in the pirouette. So you can see there, he's like lifting his whip up and touching me on the wrist to remind me that I should use my wrist to create more jump and more activity through her front end in the half pass. Like there again, you can see he's kind of putting the whip in front of my hands. And what he wants me to do is like half halt and follow, and half halt and follow, and kind of half halt on both reins to get her withers to lift up a little bit more. So it's a really interesting technique. And then here again, he's showing me with his whip, kind of giving me that visual for where my hand should be going and the timing for my half halt. So one thing that's really cool about Juan is he's like such a creative trainer and such a creative instructor. And then here he's actually holding my hand while I'm doing the pirouette, and you can see him trying to like bend my wrist and show me how I should be half halting properly. So the half halt is not just from your hand, it's also from your seat and leg. Okay everyone, that's it on half halts for today. I really hope that this video was helpful. I hope you learned something. And once again, I really appreciate your business. I appreciate you taking my courses. And I really appreciate you filling out the survey, because I want to continue making my programs better, making them better to serve you. And it's really great to have your feedback. So thanks so much once again.